Today, I want to share a story that just popped out of nowhere into my life, and I want to share it with you because it's super important. I've never really considered it. So let's jump right in. Hey, it's Jesse with Emerge Coaching. Thank you so much for watching. We are really excited to help you to continue to understand you so that you can create massive financial wealth in your future, as well as health and all the other great things that come with that. And today, I really want to share a story. This happened to me recently, and it's just impacted the way I'm looking at the way I approach things around my family, specifically around my kids. And so we want to jump right in. But before we do that, please, if you like what you're hearing, like and subscribe and share this with your friend. And of course, leave us some comments. We'd love to know what we could talk about to help you continue on your journey to excellence. So this happened recently. About a week ago, my grandfather passed away, and I didn't really have the best relationship with my grandfather, but as stress would have it, things started to pop up. All right, who's going to speak at the funeral? Who's going to sing? And who's going to give a prayer? And all these other things, the traditions of the funeral itself. And there was a lot of times I found myself saying, I don't want to go here. It's 2 hours away. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I was saying that openly around my family, mainly just because I was just expressing to my wife, my feelings on this whole situation as I was sorting through emotions of losing a grandparent. And I made a key mistake. That mistake was I kept saying all the things I didn't want as opposed to designing the things I did want in that process. And so what was so interesting is we ended up going and visiting my grandmother who's at my mom's house. And there was some trauma there as well. And my mom was not really spending the time with my daughter the way that she really wanted her to spend time with her. And it was because she was preoccupied with her mom, who had made some decisions in her life to the point where she couldn't walk. And so there was all this focus going on my grandma, and my daughter was really bugged by that whole situation. So we're going to fast forward a little bit. My daughter has been working on sleeping in her own room, but that night she found herself coming to our bed, and it was the worst night's sleep we've probably had in 2 months. And then the next night it happens again, worst night's sleep, 2 nights in a row. And we're like, something is going on. And what is it? What is causing this huge decline in progression in our little 5-year-old? And so we started asking more questions, and we realized there was so much projection from my wife and I on all the things we didn't want with this funeral that we actually painted a negative picture for our 5-year-old of what this funeral was going to be. Not only that, but she also coupled her emotions that she felt being neglected in essence from her grandma, because her grandma was focusing on her mom. She coupled that emotion with all the I don't wants, and it started to really cause anxiety for her. And she was not looking forward to the funeral. She wasn't looking forward to the celebration of life that we should have been talking about, as opposed to the negativity that we continue to portray as negative. And so it awoke a lot of emotions, a lot of anxiety for her, to the point where she didn't want to sleep because she didn't want the next day to come. Now imagine that as a parent, you hear that from your child. I don't want the next day to come because I don't want to go to this funeral. I don't want to go do this because I'm scared. And my grandma or the people that are important to me are not going to be giving the attention that I want, and therefore I don't want to be here. And so she started to create, out of fear and out of a feeling of loneliness, she started to create this whole idea of she's not going to get the attention. She's not going to get the things that she deserves. And it started to play a negative and take a negative impact into her life and the things that she was doing. She started acting out. She wasn't sleeping well. And this is so important as a parent and as a business leader, because what you're saying really is going to affect the emotions of other people around you. And your words are a symbology of what you believe inside. So as you're saying, I don't want this, and this is not the way that things should be, as you're expressing that, what you're truly expressing is all your insecurities and all your feelings inside, and it's being felt around the room by everyone else. And that is causing the results that you don't want, because that negative energy is there. So how do you fix that? Well, you flip it over into things you do want. How do you create the best out of the environment? You may not want to be in that environment. No one wants to go to a funeral, but how do you create that environment in a way that makes you happy with the outcome? You have to create the outcome to get other people on board. And so what we ended up doing with that was buying toys. We set a place where she got to pick the restaurant we were going to eat at. And we started to create a positive feel around this environment to allow her to then change her mindset and say, I want to go now. And I want you to think about that as a parent, as an adult, like what you're doing and what you're saying is literally affecting the emotions of everyone else around you. And as you start to be more precise on the things you want, as opposed to the things you don't want, you may find that the things you want actually start to manifest themselves easier and more effortless on your part because other people are willing to get behind the things you want to make that a reality. I'm Jesse with Emerge. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like and subscribe for more amazing content. I hope you have a wonderful day.